Hello everyone, X-Wall-Kill Bethelite here. And seriously, the governing body, why do we think God is using them? What reason do we have to think about that? Think about that for a second here.
Thank you for choosing McDonald's. How can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to have your steak, egg, and cheese bagel combo.
I'm sorry, we don't have the steak, egg, and cheese bagel any longer.
You don't any longer have the steak, egg, and cheese bagel?
No, sir, we don't.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, let me get the, that just ruined my whole morning there. Let me get the, sausage, egg, and cheese, biscuit.
Okay.
Combo meal.
And what would you like to drink with that?
Let me have a large orange juice.
Okay, what else for you?
That'd be it.
All right, your total today is going to be $8.10. First window, thank you.
Thank you. McDonald's does not change their menu in a bazillion years until they get something that you like. Then they'll change it. What reason do we have to believe God is using the 8 men in Brooklyn, or however many men there are in Brooklyn, making decisions for Watchtower? Jehovah's Witnesses like to use terminology that elevates themselves, and by elevating themselves, of course, the people that make the decisions in Brooklyn, they're going to want to elevate them also. You can't elevate yourself without elevating your leadership. So when they call themselves the organization, they call themselves the truth, they also like to really blow up their leadership and call them the governing body. It's literally all a bunch of hype that they don't live up to. The question is God using the 8 men in Brooklyn? I don't want to use their terminology, because just by using their terminology, you're elevating these men, calling them the anything. And what reason would you have to think that God is using them? Because a lot of what Jehovah's Witnesses use to try to make it sound like God is using Watchtower for those 8 men in Brooklyn is knocking on doors. Hello. You smart. You got a chair.
Oh, it's because I got surgery on my knee.
Oh. Yeah.
So I can stand up.
No, not for long periods of time. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe you got rid of the steak, egg, and cheese bagel.
I know. Since the pandemic,
Yeah.
they take it out a lot of stuff on the menu.
Oh, they changed the menu?
Yeah, they take it out the egg white delight, the bagels, and the salads. Like, really?
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, thank you. So they want to use the
How you doing, sir?
good, how are you?
Not too bad. We had a large orange juice, the soft baked biscuit and cheese, and the hash brown.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You have a minute?
The primary thing that they want to use, and I was going to show you guys a steak, egg, and cheese bagel. The only reason I go to McDonald's in the morning, and they got rid of it. They got rid of it. Where's my steak, egg, and cheese bagel? Why would they do that? Let's get back to the point here. If I said I had God's backing, you would obviously look for reasoning behind that. You'd be looking for the reason why I would say such a thing. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that those 8 men in Brooklyn have got God's backing. And you can't really use magazine printing. They'll say, well, we print magazines in different languages. Well, number one of the reasons why that's different is most churches are not printing companies. Most churches aren't printing companies. The news about Christ, believe it or not, has been spread without churches full-blown being printing companies. Magazines aren't the primary way of spreading Christianity. Jehovah's Witnesses don't understand that. In their mind, they just cannot comprehend how Christianity can be spread without a magazine. So to them, just the fact that they print magazines and then that they can do it in different languages is reason to believe that they have God's backing. That's not good enough reason. Anybody could print magazines in different languages if they attempted to. As far as churches, if there was some other church that thought, like Jehovah's Witnesses do, the only way that I can spread this knowledge is by printing magazines, well, then you'd see other people putting some kind of effort into it. Watchtower is the only one putting effort into printing a bunch of magazines. So printing magazines with free labor, people in various different countries willing to translate magazines into different languages for free is not an accomplishment. I could have this video translated into 100 different languages if I had a bunch of people willing to do it for free. It's not an accomplishment. And another reason why you can't really use, hey, we print a bunch of magazines, in comparison to who? Nobody else is trying to print a bunch of magazines. And one of the reasons why is we now know that it's very ineffective. These people were standing next to carts and you could hear crickets. They were standing next to carts and they try to set the carts up in public places like parks. They try to find a place where there's going to be a lot of people and then set up their cart there. They were knocking on doors. I grew up Jehovah's Witness, so I know. We would knock on doors and we would spend a couple of hours going around whole blocks, not only knocking on doors, but talking to anybody we saw. And you could count on one hand the amount of actual interest, or the people that actually even open the door when us them Jehovah's Witnesses banging on my door again. Like you're just being a nuisance to the majority of people, and that goes for sending people text messages, which Jehovah's Witnesses have been doing that people don't want. And then also it goes for sending people letters they didn't ask for. They didn't ask for you to put your magazines in their mailbox. It's more becoming a nuisance than it is being productive or effective. Just look, my blinker's on. Just look at the number of Jehovah's Witnesses. Other churches are not going around blocks handing out magazines. They've got lots of members. Jehovah's Witnesses been going around blocks passing out magazines. They can't even fill the small little buildings that they have. They're condensing. Jehovah's Witnesses are consolidating and selling buildings because they can't even fill what they got. Obviously, that don't work. God would have known that. So why would you think God is leading a group of men to do something that is very ineffective? Why do you think God is leading a group of men who had to have cutbacks and layoffs at Bethel and sell a bunch of buildings? Anybody could end up in that situation. Why would you think God? There's no real reason to think that God is leading these people, and that they have gotten a lot of their teachings wrong. Pretty much any prediction that they made was always wrong. Like, these people, unfortunately, Jehovah's Witnesses, are literally putting faith in man. They're trying to put faith in these men. And they're doing it at the cost of their own spirituality. Now your spirituality is the foundation of it is an organization of men who have messed up on a lot of their teachings. Your spiritual foundation is just a group of men who decided to become a magazine printing company, essentially, and that's very ineffective. You've just been going around bothering people for a very long time and littering your magazines into laundromats and trying to find places to put the crap because nobody wants it. That is not in any way, shape, or form an indication that God is in any way leading that. Give me an idea. Give me something. Give me an idea. What other reason could Jehovah's Witnesses possibly think that these men in Brooklyn are being led by God? Jehovah's Witnesses have had problems with child sex abuse. There's been lawsuits. There's been an entire commission in Australia. Australia had to have an entire commission about Jehovah's Witnesses. So yes, that's a problem. Now, you can't even look at wrongdoing and say, well, God's leading this particular group of people when they have the same problems that a lot of people have, but some of these problems are worse. They've got a lot of the same problems that other people have, but a lot of the problems are worse. The child sex abuse, where you literally got a situation where ain't nobody gonna believe this kid, and they have to have freaking witnesses and whatnot, is ridiculous. I mean, the Australian Royal Commission, if you watched it, there's no way you're coming away thinking that these men talking about all these kids that got victimized because they needed 2 witnesses to them getting molested, you're not coming away from that thinking God is leading these people. OJ's pretty good here. I mean, literally, give me a reason, because I can't even think of one. Their little operation that they have in New York, everything they're doing it with free labor. They're doing it with free labor from a bunch, and so they're doing it with free labor, and that negates a lot of what they do because anybody can do it with free labor. Anybody can do it with free labor. You can look at just the fact that people do go knocking on doors. Well, if any other church told a bunch of people the end of the world was coming, they would probably go knock on doors if they were asked to do it also. If a bunch of people were told the end of the world is, about to come, and we need to warn as many people as possible, it's literally around the corner, and if you don't warn them, you're going to die because you're going to be blood guilty, which is what Jehovah's Witnesses are told, they would too. If you scare someone into doing something, that's not proof that God is with you. What is it with Texas and stuff being dry? I'm in San Antonio. If you're in San Antonio, because when I was going to get the steak, egg, and cheese bagel, you can see how dark that is from right here. You can see how dark that is. What is it with Texas and them burning stuff? If you get a pizza, I always got to ask for extra sauce because they mess around and give you a freaking tostada, a big tostada, something with no sauce on it at all. What is it? Not too bad. Not bad at all, actually. I'm over going off and it don't taste too bad at all. Hope you guys had your breakfast. Look at the cheese, how dark it is. It's like they just burnt everything. Like they made it in a desert. Still tastes good because it's hard to mess up a biscuit. So if people go door to door and they're doing it because they were scared into doing it because Watchtower told them the end of the world was coming, which it never did. Back when they were predicting it. That's not proof God is with somebody. You just tricked them people. And you got people every month checking up on them, asking them how much time they spent doing it. You check up on these people. Like, that's not proof of God. The teachings aren't proof of God. I don't even think a Jehovah's Witness would try to say, hey, our teachings are proof of God. They run around talking about Jesus is Michael, the archangel, and end of the world was supposed to come in 1975, and the generation of 1914 would not pass away before the end of the world came. Like, oh my God, their teachings are freaking horrible. So that's not a reason to think that God is behind them. Why the heck do you think that, shunning is just indicative of a cult. A cult needs to keep its members separate from mainstream society because they don't want anybody to find out that they're in a cult. So just shunning, or what they call disfellowshipping, in and of itself is not proof that God is with them, and the whole child sex abuse issue is proof of that. Because if discipline, Jehovah's Witnesses discipline its members, if that was the reason that you could look at that God is with a group of people, then you wouldn't have had a bunch of pedophiles running around. Y'all would have got rid of the pedophiles. Y'all would have reported the pedophiles. God obviously was not leading these men as far as protecting the congregation. Otherwise, y'all would have got rid of all the pedophiles. The problem wouldn't have got so big. I can't think of nothing. I cannot think of anything to show that God is behind those the Watchtower's leaders. They're running one of the smallest religions on the planet. And its whole aim has been to gain more members. Your whole goal is to gain more members, and you got less members than everybody else. I would put jelly on it, but this is good the way it is. Comment down below, let me know. I really want to know why you think this failed expansion operation done by Watchtower has been led by God. It's a failed expansion operation. Y'all been trying to expand for the longest time. Russia done shut y'all down. There's a lot of countries where y'all aren't doing anything. And in America, the freest country with regards to religion in the world, y'all are having to downsize and sell off kingdom halls. And then as far as COVID, Watchtower has not done anything to show that they got any kind of special guidance from God at all. They stand their behinds in the house just like everybody else. You tell me. I'm sure we got some Jehovah's Witness apologists watching videos since they ain't got no meetings to go to. They ain't got nothing else to do. Why in the world would you think God is behind Watchtower leadership? Comment down below. Let me know what you think. I was at Bethel. They had people, 2 people in these little rooms. Sometimes they had 3 people in these little rooms. That's not indicative of God leading anybody. Squeezing people in a small little room so you can get work out of them for free. It's not indicative of it at all. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. 937-789-4029. Shoot me a text, because sometimes I'm going to be working and can't answer the phone. So, X-Wall Kill Bethelite, signing out.